There are a couple things I'd like to show you today. The first one being how we accomplish bare metal provisioning, and then some clustered lifecycle management operation. So zero touch provisioning. What does that mean exactly? Basically, where we transform your bare metal physical servers into a fully provisioned server with Kubernetes already running on top of it, right? So I'm gonna actually just take a brief moment and kick off a deployment that will provision a bare metal server. And then at that point, once it's booted, it'll automatically be part of the Kubernetes cluster. Just a quick pause here. I'm going to move over to the UI for the bare metal offering. And I actually have two bare metal servers here in this environment. I'm going to use one of those for Kubernetes. And so I'm just going to quickly create this and let this run in the background, uh, just using the default options here. And again, I'll go into this in more detail afterwards, but just want to show you how this works end to end. The magic sauce here is this cloud config script that I have here. And what this is going to do, this is actually going to download our Platform 9 CLI utility that will install the Platform 9 components on it, as well as do things like ensure that all the prerequisites are satisfied and all of that good stuff. And again, I'll go into this shortly, but let's go ahead and kick this off, and then we'll come back to this shortly. All right. So whether you want to deploy in, say, whether you want to deploy in the US or deploy anywhere else in the world, you can deploy in minutes from anywhere with Platform 9. So let me show you how it works. So the only thing you have to do is submit the deployment request via the Platform 9 API or the UI. And this first step here, that's what I performed earlier, right? The one that the process that took me maybe 10 seconds to run through the wizard. At that point, once that deployment request makes its way to the platform line management plane, it'll then automatically create the cluster, and it'll kick off the bare metal provisioning that's on-prem. So the it'll pixie boot the servers with an operating system, and then it'll configure Platform 9 managed Kubernetes on top of it. So next thing you know, we'll have a fully functioning Kubernetes cluster. You know, a few minutes ago, let's go ahead and take a look here at the Platform 9 UI. We could see that this cluster was created 12 minutes ago. It is healthy. It is in healthy status. And this is that K8's master node that I created earlier. So, really in less than 10 minutes, I have a cluster up and running in a matter of no time. Once we have a cluster up and running, you can utilize our UI to take care of, all cluster lifecycle actions. So, for example, I intentionally deployed this cluster with an older version of Kubernetes, which is 1.23. You'll also notice that there is a little exclamation mark next to this version that clearly indicates to me that there is an upgrade available. So whenever I want to upgrade a cluster, it's as simple as a few clicks. So I just need to select the cluster here, which I only have one in this environment. But when I click on upgrade, I just select the target version, and then I have to just specify the upgrade strategy. This is the default option, which is where each node will get upgraded one at a time. So once the first worker node is fully upgraded, then it'll proceed to the next one. But say you have a larger cluster, say with 100 nodes or something like that. You can here with the percentage option, this is where you could specify the percentage of worker nodes to be upgraded in parallel.